There is an infinite amount of cash at the Federal Reserve. There is an infinite amount of cash at the Federal Reserve. There is an infinite amount of cash at the Federal Reserve. There is an infinite amount of cash at the Federal Reserve. There is an infinite amount of cash at the Federal Reserve. There is an infinite amount of cash at the Federal Reserve.
Good morning, Bitcoin. Today is Tuesday, September 22nd, 2020. My name is Thomas Hunt, and this is the World Crypto Network. Checking out the price of Bitcoin. The price of Bitcoin was up 0.3% in the last 24 hours, with a last of 10,471, a high of 10,549, and a low of 10,375. That's $1 for 9,549 Satoshis. Volume was 2,530 Bitcoins traded. The market continues to lean margin long, with 84% of the market heading that direction. But first, a reading from Charles Bukowski from the book Mockingbird, Wish Me Luck. One of the only books that I have left with me. The poem is called 4th of July. It's amazing the number of people who can't feel pain. Put 40 in a room, squeezed against each other, hours of lethargic talk, and they don't faint, scream, go mad, or even wince. It appears as if they're waiting for something that will never arrive. They are as comfortable as chickens or pigs in their pens. One might even consider it wisdom if you can overlook the faces and the conversation. When the 4th is over, they go back to their separate holes, and the sun will kiss me hello. Then the sidewalks will look good again. Back in their cages, they'll dream of the next great holiday. Probably Labor Day, smashing together on the freeways, talking together, 40 in a room, cousins, aunts, sisters, mothers, brothers, uncles, sons, grandfathers, grandmothers, wives, husbands, lovers, friends, all the rest, 40 in a room, talking about nothing, talking about themselves. A little bit of Charles Bukowski from the book Mockingbird, Wish Me Luck. Grabbed it randomly from a pile of books while I was moving. So exciting times for this Bukowski book, at least. Let's go ahead and get started on the news. The word hypocrisy is an important word in American politics and other politics. American political journalist Michael Gershon says that political hypocrisy is the conscious use of a mask to fool the public and gain political benefit. Let's look at just a little bit of the hypocrisy that we've been seeing in the recent current events. It was around February 17th, 2016, when Justice Antonin Scalia passed away. Antonin Scalia passed away without an autopsy and with a strange message about a pillow being over the justice's head when he was found. Many people conspiratorially thought that this pillow maybe was placed over the justice's head, but it turned out, according to the ranch owner, the pillow was above his head, as if resting above his head. So either way, Antonin Scalia, Supreme Court Justice, I didn't agree with him, but he passed away. At this point, President Obama appointed Merrick Garland to be on the Supreme Court. It's the Senate's job to advise and consent Supreme Court picks. But the Senate was wearing a mask that day. The Senate wasn't revealing its true purposes, and the Republicans at the time came up with a great scheme to seize this Supreme Court seat. They said that you can't appoint a new Supreme Court justice in an election year. the entire year. So they kept the court at only 8 members. They blocked the 9th member, presumably the tiebreaker, from joining the court for an entire year as they waited. Antonin Scalia died on February 13th, 2016. The election that year was on November 8th, 2016. A quick Google search. That's 266 days left in President Obama's term. It seems pretty obvious. I mean, Supreme Court appointments take about 50 to 70 days. You've got room for 5 of them there. Easy. Maybe more. But that's not what happened because the Republicans were wearing a mask. On September 18th, 2020, just a few days ago, Justice Ruth Bader Ginsburg passed away, despite being, I think she was appointed by Ronald Reagan, but turned out to be a great justice. That used to happen. Election day is November 3rd. Quick Google search. That's 46 days away. 46 days from when the body became cold until the election, when presumably there just might be a new president. 46 days is very different than 266, but we can all agree that it's very much in the same year as a presidential election. It's very much the same situation, slightly different. Only 2 times since 1975 has Congress or the Senate been able to confirm a Supreme Court pick in less time than the 40 days remaining before the expected announcement of the pick on Friday or Saturday. The John Paul Stevens confirmation in 1975 took just 19 days, while former Justice Sandra Day O'Connor saw 33 days elapse from when she was nominated until a Senate vote in 1981. Ginsburg herself had the 3rd shortest wait in that time, 42 days. The average period since 1975 to confirmation from nomination to Senate vote is 69.6 days, according to a 2018 report from the Congressional Research Service. If the Senate moved at its typical pace, it could confirm a nominee by late November or early December, depending how quickly Trump nominates a replacement. So they're very clearly running out of time. And then there's this, the matter of the hypocrisy. Let's listen to Lindsey Graham talking to us from March 10th, 2016.
Of a lame duck president. And if Ted Cruz or Donald Trump get to be president, they've all asked us not to confirm or take up a selection by President Obama. So if a vacancy occurs in their last year of their first term, guess what? You will use their words against them. I want you to use my words against me. If there's a Republican president in 2016 and a vacancy occurs in the last year of the first term, you can say, Lindsey Graham said, let's let the next president, whoever it might be, make that nomination, and you could use my words against me, and you'd be absolutely right. We're setting a precedent here today, Republicans are, that in the last year, at least of a lame duck 8-year term, I would say it's going to be a 4-year term, that you're not going to fill a vacancy of the Supreme Court based on what we're doing here today. That's going to be the new rule. When y'all change the rules about appellate judges and district,
That's going to be the new rule. Senator Lindsey Graham, I want you to use my words against me. If there is a Republican president in 2016 and a vacancy occurs in the last year of the first term, you can say Lindsey Graham said, let's let the next president, whoever it might be, make that nomination. Of course, Lindsey Graham of 4 years ago is not the Lindsey Graham of today. He's taken these words back. He said he's changed his mind. He has reasons, but still it's very clear what he's saying here. He's saying that as a man of principle, we are establishing a new principle, the new principle that you do not appoint a Supreme Court justice during an election year. We're establishing this principle, and Lindsey Graham, 2016, expects this principle to be upheld in 2020 and further on. He expects it to be upheld. He's made a promise, and then he broke the promise. The hypocrites. Dante from the Inferno. At the bottom of the slope, Dante and Virgil look up to see the demons, wings spread out wide, enraged at being fooled. But the devils are powerless to capture Dante and Virgil, since they cannot go beyond the area of the grafters. Dante and Virgil then approach a line of souls dressed in capes and hoods, appearing to be monks, slowly walking. These souls are the hypocrites who misused the offices of the church and lied to their flock and to God. Their punishment is to walk eternally in capes lined with lead, each step agonizingly slow and painful. Virgil then looks down and sees the sight of a soul crucified to the ground. This soul is Caiaphas, the high priest who recommended that Jesus die rather than the Hebrew nation perish. The devils also lied about the bridge, which was broken. However, the condemned friars tell Dante and Virgil of a detour, which takes them deeper into hell. As you can see here, Dante is describing the punishment for those who break their word, those who say one thing and do another. It's far greater than just a political problem. It's a soul problem. It's not just that they've lied about one thing or lied about another thing. It's that they've broken their entire promise. Their entire being is now broken. They are untrustworthy. Even if you support this Supreme Court nomination, even if you support removing a woman's right to choose, giving corporations endless power, removing all limits on corporate money in politics, all the other great decisions that are going to happen after this new 6-3 rubber stamp Supreme Court takes over, even if you agree with all that, you have to admit they're getting there by cheating. It's not the same as winning properly. They're not the better team. They didn't have more votes. They didn't have a better argument. Their argument was, we cheated and we're getting away with it. And there's no punishment. There's no punishment on earth. At least there's no punishment on earth. But inside of these people, they know what they did. They know that they lied. They know that they're hypocrites. And having Lindsey Graham's words right there just makes it worse. As the Cliff Notes on Dante's Inferno says, Dante's two themes of religion and politics collide again in the sixth pit. The jovial friars were an order founded to keep peace and enforce order. Of the two friars that Dante encounters here, one was a Gulliv, and one was a Gilibine. Both friars were jointly appointed to help bring peace to Florence. However, their reign resulted in much bloodshed and violence, and they were shortly removed from office. Because of the chasm of the hypocrites is chiefly filled with sinners with whom religion played a major role in their damnation, it is fitting that Caiaphas, high priest of the Jews, is the chief sinner of the pit, having been crucified to the ground to suffer being walked on for all of eternity. Caiaphas advised Pontius Pilate to condemn Jesus to death on the cross for the supposed benefit of the city. Virgil marvels at his appearance because he was not yet there when Virgil made his first trips to the depths of hell. In the circle of the hypocrites, Dante again is recognized as being alive, this time because his throat moves as he talks. The cloaks of the hypocrites, which dazzle the eye, are actually instruments of torture. Moreover, the heavy garments they wear force the sinners to adopt a decorous and subdued attitude, which is entirely in character with their worldly habit of hiding a vicious nature beneath a virtuous and holy appearance. Dante has placed the hypocrites far down in the circles of hell. Their presence is a restatement of Dante's definition of sin as the perversion of the intellect. Few sins can equal the deliberate cloaking of one's true character and feelings in a false aspect of piety, tolerance, or honesty. Powerful words. The Quran says, "Verily, the hypocrites will be in the lowest depth of the fire. No helper will you find for them." But there is a little bit of hope. I'd like to leave you with some hope today, some positiveness, as hard as it is out there in the world today. Oh, motherfuck. All right, we'll be right back. Hold on just a second. Sorry about that brief interruption. Though Pandora hastened to close the box, only one thing was left behind: hope. There is hope for our democracy. Not a lot of hope, but a little bit of hope. Let's talk about that hope. There are still the possibility of 4 Republican senators changing their minds and saying that the people who are voting in November should have a say into this Supreme Court nomination, which was the Republicans' entire argument in 2016. The people who are voting should have a say. Now, then it was 266 days to the election. Now it's 42. But still, the same idea, the people should have a vote. So far, Lisa Murkowski from Alaska, Senator Collins from Maine have both said that they believe the people should have a voice. That leaves Romney and a grab bag of Republican senators. No really good options there. But if the 4 of them decided we should wait, America would be saved and we would wait. They would be seen as non-hypocrites, while the rest of the Republicans who would vote against them would be the ultimate hypocrites. It could happen. Romney could happen. Collins could flake. And obviously Jeff Flake is no longer in the Senate anymore from Arizona. He used to be a possibility as well. Okay, put that one aside. Second possibility is a second impeachment trial. This would seem like a long shot at first, but the impeachment trial forces the Senate to have an impeachment trial. So the House of Representatives, which is controlled by Democrats, could force the Senate to have a second impeachment of Donald Trump or an impeachment of Attorney General William Barr, which would force the Senate to calendar that in a week, which would be right in the middle of this Supreme Court nomination, derailing the nomination. Theoretically, it is possible the Republicans could do both. They could both handle an impeachment and a Supreme Court nomination at the same time, but it would be very difficult. And calendar-wise, the impeachment has a constitutional power to force the calendar. So we have to hope. Nancy Pelosi said she had one arrow in her quiver. She means this: the second impeachment trial or impeaching Attorney General Barr. The third option doesn't happen right away. This is more punishment for breaking the rules and changing the rules. When you break the rules and you change the rules, your opponent notices this. When your opponent notices this, they have a chance to then do the same to you. The Republicans appear to be colossal hypocrites. They lied in 2016 to steal a Supreme Court seat, and now they're lying in 2020 to steal another one. This means that the previous collegial nature of the Senate, the world's greatest deliberative body, they sometimes call it, is gone. All the fairness is gone. All the working together is gone. I forget the quote, but something about the poem, how you should be like the night's element. You should become a dark shade. You should express your revenge. There is nothing to stop Democrats from expressing their revenge. It's so bad that Mitch McConnell himself went on Twitter and gave the Democrats the plan. He said, this is what they're going to do. This is what I'm afraid of. And although it was just Lindsey's fear, again, with the trap, remember the great Adam Curtis film, The Trap, remember the 80s, remember our greatest fears materialize. We believe the Soviets had lots of missiles and were very powerful. They were tricking us with mirrors around one missile, but we built up a massive missile defense program anyway, because our greatest fears come true, because we trusted a schizophrenic named John Nash to set up our whole national security thing. But you can watch The Trap with Adam Curtis. It's a fantastic documentary. One of the best. Top 10, easy top 5. Lindsey Graham's greatest fears is that once the Democrats take control, because it's looking like the Democrats are going to take the Senate, the Democrats already have the House, and it's even possible, although the crooked Electoral College denies people votes, it denies their power, it does look like it is possible the Democrats could end up controlling all 3 branches of government. And you know what Mitch McConnell says the Democrats should do then? He told us his plan. He said, admit Washington, D.C., admit Puerto Rico as states. That's 4 new senators, likely 4 new Democratic senators. Once you get those 4 new senators sworn in, you pack the court. Maybe some of you haven't heard of this, but there's nothing in the Constitution saying that there has to be 9 Supreme Court judges. This came up previously in the 1940s when FDR was having a hard time getting some of his New Deal programs through. What FDR said is that the people need these programs and that I am willing to add more justices to the Supreme Court to get my programs approved. The Democrats in the Congress and the House at the time did not support FDR in his attempt to pack the court. They said he was a tyrant. They said he was a king. There was political cartoons, all of that. But the idea was out there, and the idea was bubbling. So if the Democrats wanted to, they could simply appoint 2, maybe 4 additional members to the Supreme Court. Turnabout is fair play. That's why we have these rules. That's why we have these laws. That's why previously, until 2016, President Obama should have been allowed to make his Supreme Court pick. Mitch McConnell thought he was smarter than everyone. He was pulling a fast one. He was able to steal this seat. Now he wants the other seat. It's obvious to everyone. We know what you're doing. You're acting like a person for whom there is no rules. And Democrats should act the same. Pack the court. And we have a little bit more hope today. Apologies for the slow browser switching. My little switch box broke. It's a bummer. I bought it refurbished. You know, it was still $60. But very cool little box, a USB switch box called a Stream Deck. There's a right side up. But it lets me switch between things, and I think it got plugged into the wrong USB and lost its brain or something. So it's gone. So I'm switching manually. But I also want to remind you guys, there's a brand new Thomas Hunt Show channel. If you've made it this far in the show, you must either like it or either really hate it. So either way, I guess, although I prefer, if you like it, I prefer you chase down things that you like, have a positive outlook on the world, as hard as that can be, as many negative things as there are, and as much fun as it is to be negative and to tear things down. I'd prefer if you were positive and you seeked out things that you agreed with and things that you like. And if you like the Thomas Hunt Show, we've got a link down below to our new YouTube. We have 0 subscribers. No one's watching it there. No one's commenting on it. No one's in the chat room. And we have a Twitter with 2 people following us. So I was going to kind of simulcast these shows maybe for 10 more episodes till we get to 100. And then I'm going to switch over to the new network and talk to myself, I guess. So if you'd like to join me talking to myself on the Thomas Hunt Show, links in the description below on YouTube. So thanks so much. And now here's a poem for the end of the day. I just Googled it. Kind of a random poem, hoping for the best. It says in the inscription, a poem for Barack Obama's presidential inauguration. So, didn't know that though. A praise song for the day by Elizabeth Alexander. Each day we go about our business, walking past each other, catching each other's eyes, or not, about to speak, or speaking. All about us is noise. All about us is noise and bramble, thorn and din, each one of our ancestors on our tongues. Someone is stitching up a hem, darning a hole in a uniform, patching a tire, repairing the things in need of repair. Someone is trying to make music somewhere, with a pair of wooden spoons on an oil drum, with cello, boombox, harmonica, voice. A woman and her son wait for the bus. A farmer considers the changing sky. A teacher says, take out your pencils, begin. We encounter each other in words, words spiny or smooth, whispered or declaimed, words to consider, reconsider. We cross dirt roads and highways that mark the will of someone, and then others who said, I need to see what's on the other side. I know there's something better down the road. We need to find a place where we are safe. We walk into that which we cannot yet see. Say it plain that many have died for this day. Sing the names of the dead who brought us here, who laid the train tracks, raised the bridges, picked the cotton and the lettuce, built brick by brick the glittering edifices that they would keep clean and work inside of. Praise song for struggle, praise song for the day, praise song for every hand-lettered sign, the figuring it out at kitchen tables. Some live by, love thy neighbor as thyself. Others, by first do no harm, or take no more than you need. What if the mightiest word is love? Love beyond marital, filial, national. Love that casts a widening pool of light. Love with no need to preempt grievance. In today's sharp sparkle, this winter air, anything can be made, any sentence begun, on the brink, on the brim, on the cusp. Praise song for walking forward in that light. That was Praise Song for the Day by Elizabeth Alexander, a poem for Barack Obama's presidential inauguration. I'd just like to thank everybody for joining us. Be sure to give us a thumbs up down below. Subscribe to that new channel if you're interested. I'm going to do shows like this. I'm going to talk about video games and movies, all kinds of things that are off topic, not about Bitcoin and crypto, though I still like Bitcoin. I don't know about crypto. Crypto is good. I like cryptography. But yeah, that's what it's going to be. It's going to be the Thomas Hunt Show. Doesn't look like this camera's focusing. That's annoying. Also, check out the Mad Bitcoins YouTube channel. I did a new Mad Bitcoins episode yesterday. It was fun. I wrote a little essay, and then I read it out loud. I got to use my teleprompter and everything. So it was a pretty cool thing, setting things up around here for some Mad Bitcoins. Going to try to do those on Monday. So that's about it. Subscribe to the Twitter, thumbs up and share, subscribe to the YouTube. And until next time, bye-bye. Why am I not in focus? It's because of the microphone. It's because the microphone's in focus. All right, whatever.